Hello guys, and welcome back to Heal With Me. Today I want to talk about tips on emotional healing. I looked up a little article by Eric myself for tips on emotional healing on Psychology Today. There's 10 tips that he has, but I only picked out 5 because I'm not going to say like all of them. I'll leave the link in the description for this article, that way you can look at the whole 10 things, but I only picked out the 5 that resonate with me, or that I struggle with, or that other people might also struggle with, and things that I'm also like working on as well. So yeah, before we get into it though, I like to start with like my stretching and my body movement stuff, because that's always helpful. Instead of ending it with like words of affirmation, I would like to do some deep breathing techniques like at the end to close off. So yeah, let's start off with some stretching. So open wide, up, down. You can rotate if you have enough space. And then to twist body. I don't know if you guys can hear the cracking. I always hear the cracking sounds and I'm like, your back is messed up. And give yourself a nice hug. Then roll your neck. And then you could do these with me, or if you just choose to just watch, that's fine. Okay, so let's start with the tips from Psychology Today, and maybe you can go to the website and then post in the comments like which tip is like your favorite tip, or which tip is like one that like you struggle with the most. So I'm going to be sharing like which tip is the one that I probably struggle with the most. I'm going to start off with the first tip, and this is actually the first tip that he has on his list as well. So it's be yourself, and he says, this means asking for what you want, setting boundaries, saying the things you want to say, and in 100 other ways, being you and not being somebody small or false. This is something that I don't really struggle with per se. I'm the type that like I will tell you exactly how I'm feeling, and I move like that. Like it's just like, this is who I am. Like I know like myself in and out, and that's how I present myself. I don't care about people really like judging me. It's like I've gotten to a point already. I think before, like when I was younger, I used to make myself like smaller, bite my tongue a lot, and not really say what I really wanted to say out of fear, like, oh, if I say something then they'll leave, or stuff like that. Like I would, or like they're not gonna like me anymore, or wanting to fit in, and so I would just not keep a lot of things to myself, repressed. I was very repressed. I don't do that anymore. Now I'm like, I show up how I show up. This is how I am, this is who I am, and there's always going to be room for improvements. It's not like I show up and I'm like a disaster. I'm always open to like becoming better and being better, but I've come to a point where it's like I've accepted myself, and like I don't hide, or I don't shame the parts of me that like most people will probably be ashamed of. I'm like, I'm a human, I'm flawed. This is what it is, and this is what I'm working on, and hopefully there's people around me that will accept that. So the next thing I want to talk about, the next tip that I took out from his list was number 3. It's number 3 on his list, and it's love and be loved. And there was a part that he wrote, sorry, I'm reading, so if you see me looking this way, acknowledge the reality of others, include others in our plans, not only speak but listen. So this is something that I think I personally struggle with, because in this one he also like acknowledges that like people need to have time of like solitude and stuff like that. There was a point in time where like I became very isolated, and I actually enjoyed being isolated. So I kind of struggle with including people like in my life, and like keeping up with like friends, and like sharing experiences with other people, kind of like letting love like back in. Like I feel like I have like this wall put up between me and like other people. And you know, I always say it's like, oh yeah, because I'm a little like, I'm introverted, and like I'm anxious, so it's like, you know, I just like to like spend time by myself and be inside. But I think the truth, I just want to keep myself safe. And I think part of that is like being scared to like let love in, because I'm out of fear of like betrayal or rejection or toxicity that like I really can't handle. I don't like too much conflict. I don't like, you know, and those are things that happen when you're like engaging in like relationships, you know, whether friendships or just regular relationships. And it's a tough thing for me to navigate, because it's like I want to keep safe. I want to keep myself safe. So yeah, that's something that I'm working on. It's like making and kind of maintaining friends, or like, you know, making sure that the friends I have, that I'm making an effort to include them, or like keep them around and stuff like that, and not make them feel like a wall, you know. So the next one that I like is actually the number 4 on his list, is get a grip on your mind. And he says, nothing causes more emotional distress than the thoughts we think. Now, this is something that I've actually become very good at, and it's thought stopping. And sometimes I just have to sit myself down, and I have to tell myself, girl, stop. Just stop. Like, what are you doing? I have to just tell myself, look, stop. Like, get a hold of yourself. I know you're feeling emotional, but just relax. You know, I know other people hate it when like you do tell them to relax, but you know, you tell yourself like, no, you got this, relax. You know, those words of affirmation in those times, they help, because usually your thoughts, they just go, sometimes they just loop, and you just have to be like, okay, yeah, you know, like if you're Spanish, you know, like that. Okay, yeah, no more, we're not doing this, not today, and you just go about your day. You just like, okay, I don't have to be my thoughts today, and it's hard, and that's something that took practice, and it's something still that I just don't, you know, because I like to self-reflect and be introspective and stuff like that, but sometimes that can be very toxic and damaging if it's like going on for a long time, and then you're ruminating and forget about it. Horrible. The next one that I like on his list is number 8, and it says, let meaning trump mood. And something that he says is, you start each day by announcing to yourself exactly how you intend to make meaning on that day. Okay, so this is something that I also do as well, but it's also something that I struggle with. It's like a little bit of both, because there's some days where, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything, and I kind of just let it rock, and I'm just like, okay, well, don't, you know, because sometimes I feel guilty, like, oh, like I have to do this, I have to do that, if I don't, you know, and then you start thinking, oh my god, if I don't, you know, and those thoughts get like overwhelming, because you start thinking, oh no, I didn't even do this, like I feel like a failure, you know, even if it's something small like washing the dishes, doing the laundry, you know, stuff like that, like chores. And it becomes like a big thing, like, oh man, am I slipping into like a depression? Like those become the anxious thoughts. But then there's times where like I wake up and I'm like, no, this is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kill it, and that's it. I don't care, I'm sad, let's go. We're gonna try to like do whatever it is that we have to do. We'll do these dishes. We could be sad and do the dishes. Let's go. Let's cry. You know, we could use the tears on our dishes. Let's go. You know? Something like that. But I like that. But it's just also like, I feel like, you know, you should also give yourself a break when and if you're feeling like too overwhelmed. Like if your mood is just too like unbearable and you just can't, you know, you just don't want to, or like you feel overwhelmed or you feel stressed out and you need to like just take a chill day, I think that's also fine as well. It's about, I think to me it's about balance, you know. It's like you can take a break and like, but then try again tomorrow, start again tomorrow with that intention, you know, give yourself that time to do whatever it is that you got to do. So the next one on his list is actually number 9, and it's upgrade your personality. Something that he wrote was, you choose a feature of your personality you would like to upgrade, and then you ask yourself what thoughts align with this intention and what actions align with this intention. And sometimes I do this, and it could be a little difficult to kind of keep up, because sometimes you go back to like your original programming. You're like, yeah, I learned this, but like sometimes other things are very hardwired and it's like really hard to get out of. So, but with this, I remember, what was it? Oh, like one of the things that I wanted to do, I guess, in terms of my personality is like have people like respect me more, because I was always like joking, laughing, and I would let other people kind of like, you know, like joke and laugh and like do things that like would make me feel bad, but I would just like laugh it off and brush it off. Even though it hurt me, I'll just be like, whatever, you know. But I think after like I had my son, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start saying no. No became my favorite word, and I'm gonna start like standing up for myself whenever I feel like something is not right. You know, if I feel like you're not doing whatever, you know, if I feel like I'm being wronged in some way, and like if I feel like I have to speak up for myself, then that's what I do. And that's something that I struggled with, and that was something that I did. So yeah, but something that I'm trying to do now in terms of upgrading my personality, the person who trusts, who like loves unconditionally and laughs and like, you know, has like fun, like I want to incorporate those two elements and like have them together. Like you can be both fun, loving, and all that stuff, and also be respected as an individual. And you know, it's okay, like you don't have to just be one way. You can be many different things at once, you know. And yeah, so those are the 5 ones that actually stuck with me, that actually like stuck out to me from the list. Maybe there's other ones that like maybe you resonate with on the website. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, those are just like tips for like emotional healing. And I like the one, especially the one that says like get a grip on your mind. I think like that's like my favorite one, because it's just, you know, sometimes we overwhelm ourselves with the thoughts that we have, and we let them define us. We let them define our actions. We let them define our, you know, our mood and like what we do. And like it's okay to kind of just be that person to tell yourself, like hold yourself accountable and be like, you're doing too much, girl. Like let's try to relax right now. So speaking of relaxing, I'm gonna close off with like some deep breathing. So let's do some inhales and exhales, and we can close. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Out. 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 Okay. Yeah. So deep breathing actually helps with like relaxing the mind, making you feel like safe. You know, it slows down the heart rate, and it brings you back to center. So hopefully that helped someone. Hopefully these tips helped anybody, and if you could relate to maybe some of the ones I mentioned, or maybe, you know, if there's some that like you liked, maybe down the line, maybe I'll make a list of like my own, and like, you know, not have to like look on another website for it, and I'll just make like my own tips. But I don't know, sometimes I don't like those videos that like they'd be like, oh, 5 tips for anxiety, or you know, like 6 tips for depression and managing depression. It's like, those tips are great and all, but like if you're not actually like doing it, or like actually putting in the work and doing it, then they're kind of like useless. In my opinion, you know. But it's like everybody goes through their own journey, their own healing journey at their own pace, you know. If this is, you know, too much, you start small, you know. I'm the type that I'm like, don't bite off more than you can chew, and just take your time. There's certain things that like they take a long time to heal from, and that's okay. I was very hard on myself for a long time when something happened to me, that I didn't get over it as quickly as I thought that I would, you know. I always thought of myself as like very resilient, so when like I started to like not feel better or feel like myself right away, it was like I felt less and less like myself. But the point is, don't be hard on yourself. Love yourself. If you fall, get back up again, even if it's slowly, you know. When we're kids, first we crawl, then we walk, and then we run, you know. Some kids, I don't know, they're superpowers. They have superpowers and they just start running, I don't know. But, you know, in the healing journey, it's up, down. That's life. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.